Hey guys, Figsy here, and please welcome back to the channel, Nicolo. Today, me and Nicolo are going to be talking about rare and collectible PS4 games, and we are back with episode number 13. Thanks for coming back to the channel, Nicolo.
Thanks for having me.
So the first game is, we're going to go 1-1, just to make it a little bit easier. So the first game I'm going to show is Bloodborne, Game of the Year Edition. Now, I originally skipped over this game when I first started this series. However, I've noticed the price of this has gone up significantly with the popularity of From Software and Elden Ring and Sekiro. Bloodborne has been more sought after, in particular the Game of the Year Edition with all the DLC. I know in Australia this is going for around $60. I've previously picked one up to resell on eBay and it sold within 24 hours. So I'd definitely be looking for Bloodborne Game of the Year Edition for your collection. Anything you want to add to this one, Nicolo?
It's pretty rare and collectible also in Europe, and the price is more or less the same. So, yes. So, for me, it's a game that I've been showing for quite a while, and it's Arab Drift Cars 1. This is a really bad game. We can call it like Arab GTA clone, but there's something wrong with that when it's a PG-3 release, and it should be an Arab GTA clone. This is in fact a really bad game made with presets in like 1 hour or even less, and it's just buggy and and barely working. So why I'm presenting you this, because it's Qatar exclusive, like probably few copies. We don't know how many. It has got a retail version. This is not limited run, it's just retail, and it's super hard to find because mainly people is not willing to send it outside of Qatar unless you know someone from there or from a let's say country near Qatar, so it's able to get this and send it to you. On eBay, there's now a kind of more copies, and it's going down in price. This got up to $300 per copy. Now it's like 180. It's super expensive still for the shit that it is, but definitely an interesting piece and a cool story behind that to own. So.
Just on that one, I've heard from a shop owner in United Arab Emirates that there was 1,000 copies. I don't know if that was official or not, but yeah, we can definitely know that it was a really low number of copies because it's hard to find already, and it was only released at the end of last year.
Probably it's always in the hands of scalpers most of the time. So, like the guy you said has 200 copies of that. Crazy.
So the next game I'm going to talk about is the Crysis Remastered Trilogy. This only came out recently, however, recently within the last 12 months. However, it has not dropped in price at all. If anything, copies are still selling in Australia, at least for around the $60 to $70 mark. Being a trilogy, I think this will be quite collectible in the future. Particularly, the Crysis is a really good series. Started on the PS3, it's got quite a fan following. So it's really cool to see a remaster. So I think this will be one to pick up in the future. If you can see it cheap, I'd definitely be grabbing this one, guys. What do you think about this one, Nicolo?
I don't know how it sells in Europe, to be honest, but I'm not seeing that in shops already. So I think it's gonna be collectible down the line for sure. And for me, it's another collection. This time is Hotline Miami collection. This is the retail European version, and it has both games on disc. Contrary to the Japanese one that has, in my opinion, a really better cover than this one. But it doesn't. It only has one game on disc and the other one on code. Can't remember which one. And this is not cheap. This is not expensive. This is not rare, at least at the moment, because you can easily find it on Amazon for like 15 euros or something like that. But I'm seeing this becoming at least collectible down the line because there are two awesome games that received multiple editions, but not a single one with both games on disc in a single case. So I'm seeing this becoming a really collectible item and still an awesome couple of games to play.
I agree with you on that one. It's got really cool artwork as well. The like acid style font.
Yeah.
So going with the collection theme, I think it's safe to assume if a game got a collection, a trilogy, a quad pack, that it is going to be quite collectible down the line because you're getting a bunch of games, not just one. And the one I'm going to talk about is the Trine Ultimate Collection. So this includes Trine 1, 2, 3, and 4, as well as all the DLC and bonus content. It's all on disc. It's quite a heavy release as well. So I definitely think you're getting good value for money with this one. And saying that, you're looking at paying $40 to $50 plus, at least in Australia, for a copy. I definitely think this will be one worth adding to the collection.
Yeah, I think I've never seen that in the wild either. So that's one on my wish list for sure. The next one is still, and we've not made this on purpose. It's still another collection. This is the Gamepoch Super 6-in-1 release. This is a Chinese exclusive. It contains 6 indies and are Element 4, Dead by something, Life Goes On, Spelunker Z, Nilumbra, Super Kawabonga Man, and Smash Edition, and Volume. And this is a really cool collection because not only is Chinese mainland Chinese exclusive, so like Jinrain and other stuff, so really hard to come by, but it also has some really cool indies on it. 4 of which are exclusive in a physical form in this release, while Volume and Super Combo Man, yeah, sorry, have received I think a limited run release on standalone. But if you want all 6, you gotta get this one. And it's really hard to say a fair price tag because I've never seen it on eBay, or at least in the wild. I got it for like 50 euros, 40 euros, something like this. But I think I got really lucky. I would say that if you find it for like 80, 100 or less, you should probably pick it up because it will be insanely difficult to find down the line. And it only has one disc, so no codes, no everything, just one disc.
I think that looks awesome. I'd love to have it in my collection. So the next game I'm going to talk about is also from the Asian region. However, this one had a Japanese release. Doesn't have an English. Doesn't have a PAL or North American release. However, this is in English. This is Block Quest Maker, the complete edition. As I said, completely plays in English. It's also on the Switch. However, the PS4 version is quite cheap. You can import it for like less than $30, which is really cool. Now you're looking at it, it's sort of got the art style to like 3D Game Heroes. It plays like a fantasy RPG with Mario Maker elements, which is really cool. I looked up a gameplay video of it, and it actually looks super fun. It comes with heaps of stuff on the inside too, so you're getting really good value for money. I definitely think this will be a hidden gem, as you'd call it, down the line. You can still grab it really cheap, so I'd be picking this one up sooner rather than later.
This is going straight to my wish list from Japan. Straight. We go to Déraciné, so a game from Software. It's probably the only game that is not a Souls game they made in the last 10 years or something like that. And it's a VR exclusive. It's a really nice game, kind of strange, I would say, but it's a really nice game. This copy, the physical copy, has been released worldwide, but not in Europe. So you can find it everywhere, but not in Europe. So I'm seeing that it's creeping up in price slowly, but it's creeping up in price. So I'll be picking this up because it's also still a really good VR game. I got the American version for like $10 because it's a promo copy, so nobody wanted to have a punch stole copy. I got like for again €10 shipped to Italy, so couldn't beat that.
From Software, I'd love to have that one in my collection as well. Here we have Ark Ultimate Survivor Edition. Now this
Never seen
one actually has all the content on the disc, so make sure they give you the correct disc when you get this one. Ark's a really popular game. The standard version, you're looking at paying $30 to $40. This one's going for like 60 to 70. It's got, I believe, 1 or 2 years worth of DLC included in the game. With that in mind, Ark's really popular. I definitely think this will maintain its value for the next few years, depending on how Ark goes. If Ark 2 comes out, for example, this might drop in price, but if the developers keep continuing to update the game, etc., I think having a physical copy will definitely be worth having in your collection, and this one's the one to have.
Never seen that one. That's a new one for me. And we go on with yet another Chinese exclusive. This is Child of Light. It's the only way to get it physical since here in Europe, but I don't know if there's also in other regions. We got cardboard box with just a code inside, some random stuff like poster, keychain. Yeah, that one. So that one is only a code. This is a full disc release with also some flyers and shit. But this is cool, but this also has one big problem: it's Chinese only, so it's not playable in English. It's still a really rare game. You can only find in China, and again, like Super 6-in-1, it's really hard to find a fair price for it. I've seen it sold for up to under €50 or even more, probably. I would say again, if you find it for like 80 to 100 and you have the money and you are willing to spend it, go for it because it will be insanely rare for also an awesome and loved game like this one.
It's interesting that it doesn't play in English because there is an English version available. And just on that pack that you mentioned, this actually is compatible with PS3 as well, which is the only reason I picked it up from my collection. I added it to the PS3 physical list.
It's also strange because Child of Light got physical release worldwide on Switch, and it's I think both standalone and in a double pack with Valiant Hearts. So a really
Interesting
combo of awesome games, I would say.
Here we have the Capcom Fighting Collection. This is the Asian version, however, it's completely in English. This is a really cool pack, and you're getting value for money. So it includes 10 classic games. We've got Super Gem Fighter, Cyber Bots. We've got Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Red Earth, Street Fighter 2, Vampire Savior 1 and 2, Night Warriors, Night Hunter 2, and Darkstalkers, all on the one pack. I do believe there is a North American release of this as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not 100% sure on that.
I don't know.
Maybe there's a PAL version. I do believe there is another version of this, but this was the first one to come out. You can still get this, I believe, from Play Asia for retail. But I would be picking this one out before it sells out, just knowing how many cool games you're getting on one pack. Physically, it's basically like the Capcom Essentials from the 90s all in one pack. Yeah, I'd be grabbing this one, guys.
Another one that I will be grabbing soon, probably. The next one is not crazy rare, is not even expensive, but it's really hard. And probably not many people know about this. This is Réussir Côte de la Route, or I probably butchered the name. And it's really odd. One of those games, strange games that I love. It's a French exclusive, and it's exactly what it seems. So it's the driving license test on PS4. This is not a game. This is really the driving license test, and it's super hard. It also comes with the sticker to put on your car that apparently in France it's a giant A, and it's super strange, super stupid. There's also, let's say, a gothy edition of this one with also the driving license for motorbike and scooters. I would say something like this. I don't know if they're on code on this though. Uh, this is a French exclusive. I managed to get this for like €6 shipped, and the average price I think it's like €15, not much more. So it's a strange one. I don't know if it will be valuable or something like this. I doubt it, but definitely an interesting one to own.
I'd love to know the origins of that, to know why it was released. If like a driving school came out and said, "Can we make a
That's,
video game because we want to get kids involved and kids are all into video games or something?"
I mean, it's intelligent. It's a good idea because the driving license books are really expensive, and once you've done that, you just have to throw that away. While this one is, let's say, an ecological choice, I would say, since you
I
can
like it.
pass it really easily. But yeah, I would love to know who came up with this idea because it's, I don't know. And it's French only, so it doesn't play in English. So if you want to play that, you have to know French.
You get to learn how to drive over there, though.
That's difficult. That's dangerous, I
So the
would
next
say.
one I'm going to talk about is Hello Neighbour, Hide and Seek. This is the second Hello Neighbour game. Particularly the Australian version is really hard to find. Over here, I can find the North American version quite easily. However, this one here took me well over, I would say, well over 6 months of actively looking for it to actually find. And I ended up finally getting one. Just like the first Hello Neighbor game, it did get quite a good reception. Being in that horror genre, I believe this will be quite collectible down the line.
I think there's a misprint of the first one, if I'm not mistaken, something like missing the title in front, but not can't remember in which region or which version.
I wonder if we'll
And
get a double pack now that both of them are released.
or even a triple pack with the second one coming up. But now we got into, I think, a little awesome game. It's Morbid and the Seven Acolytes. This is merge release. I think it's Europe only, but I could be wrong. And this is one of those games that it went down to like €10 per copy and then just disappeared. Now there are not that many copies online, and most of them are like 30 plus euros. I'm also suggesting this not only because, let's say, it's collectible, like probably any title from Merge. It's a good game. This is a Souls-like with Bloodborne feeling, general gore and feeling. So it's really nice. Not that even that hard. So you're new to the genre. This is probably a good entry level. Suggesting pick it up because it's a good game, and I think it's probably will be collectible. So if you find it for like €20 or even less, be sure to grab it.
I love playing all the Soul spin-off titles, so I'm going to have to give that one a go, Nicolo.
I got the platinum for it. Kind of fun and easy. So worth a try.
I'm just going to pull the title up of the next one. I'm up here in case I mispronounce it. Valtherian High School Story. I believe it's a JRPG. It has really interesting artwork to me. I know all these styles of games end up becoming really collectible for the system. It's one that you can pick up really cheap right now. So I'd be grabbing this one while it's still cheap before it does go up in price. This is the English version. However, it's multi-language as well. You've got English, Spanish, and Italian on the back. I'm not sure if there is a North American release, but you can get the UK copy really cheap at the moment, so I'd be grabbing it before it goes up in price for sure.
I'll see after the video because I've never seen that game, so I need to see how much is it.
Just on
If
that,
it's
like you're
cheap,
right, I've never ever seen it in the wild. I've only ever seen it online. It's one of those
me too.
things.
Me too. I've never even seen it online, so I had to check it out.
We should have shown each
And
other these games first. We haven't seen each other's.
that's the point, I think. And the next one is another kinda French exclusive. It's the Dark Eye Realms of Arcania Start Trade. This is the second chapter of the Realms of Arcania series. That is also PC game series from the 90s, I think. The first two games got remaster, remake, whatever on PS4. The first one is Blades of Destiny, that it's kinda easy to find. This one is not because it's from our friends from UAG. So, like the Nightfall, it had released a stupid print run. So it's really common, really cheap in Germany. You can't find that under this name though. It has a German name that I won't even try to pronounce because I'm not able. So this is the multi-language version with English, Spanish, Italian, and French, and has only been released in France. This has been stupidly hard to find, like exactly the Nightfall, but it's cheaper. Like Nightfall is 200 euros, something like that. If you can find it under 200 euros or something like that, this is 10, 15, if you can find it though, because again, it's not really easy to find. So again, the disc is the same. Probably it's also the German version plays in English. But if you want the cool version, I would say you have to go to this one. And again, if you find it, buy it because the problem is finding it.
Our next game I'm going to talk about is Big Buck Hunter Arcade. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's Big Buck Hunter from the arcades, but on PS4. I'm sure everyone's seen this. It's one of the most common arcade machines around the world. It's got the big gun. It's heaps of fun. I've played this heaps in the arcades. I haven't actually played the physical copy. I've rarely ever seen it in the wild. I remember seeing one on Facebook. I grabbed it right away. I looked it up later on eBay and I was shocked at how expensive it was going for. I've kept my eyes on the price and it goes for around that $40 to $50 mark. But copies rarely ever show up, especially in Australia. And in saying, like, if a game is rare over here, trends usually follow around the world. So France is probably the same. I'm sure Italy's probably the same. Nicolo, would you agree?
I think I thought that was a NTSC release only. So
So there is a
I've
PAL
never seen a PAL version of of that game. So that says something probably.
Yeah, you're probably right there. I would take that with a grain of salt. That I can actually buy a North American copy from America cheaper than I can get a PAL copy. So it's probably not that rare in America, but definitely for PAL collectors, I'd be picking this one up.
So second to last, the Talos Principle. This is a game that creeped up in price in a stupid way recently. Uh, it's a cool puzzle game, so I recommend it also to play it because it's a good game. But this game got retail for like 30 euros, I think. Now, at least in Europe, this white version you can't find it for less than I mean you can't find it. It's really hard to find it for less than 40 or even 50. I've seen copies for sale up to 100 euros. That's a stupid price that I think will never sell. But still, the fun part is that this game is more expensive in Europe than in the US. So I think that's the first time for me seeing something like this. While
Very
in the
rare
US,
occasion.
it's way cheaper and it also has a different cover. It's a black cover release for some reason. So really, okay, it's the same as the disc. Really fun game. Not many copies around. It's getting more expensive by the day. So if you don't have this, be sure to grab it.
Just on that, Nicolo, are there 3 different releases of that now? Like different
Three
games?
different.
3 different Talos principles? Am I correct
What's,
there?
I don't know. What's the third one? I'm missing the third one, probably.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but there's definitely
I
more than one of them.
I know that there's a newer release from, I think, strictly limited or special reserve for the Switch, but that's the last one I can think of.
Okay, I'll have to check after this video. Yeah, so I'm cheating here, guys. I'm showing 2 games, but they're sequels to each other, so they go hand in hand. And that is Leisure Suit Larry, Wet Dreams Don't Dry, and Leisure Suit Larry, Wet Dreams Dry Twice. Now, the Leisure Suit Larry games on PS2 and PS3 are both quite collectible. I think these will go down the same road. They didn't get a very big release. In fact, I believe they only got a release in the UK. If anyone knows of any
Also in
other
Italy.
versions, please let me know.
Also in
But
Italy.
sorry?
There's also an Italian version for those.
Okay, so it got a
Déraciné.
European release only. Definitely didn't get a release in North America. So if you're in America, you're gonna have to import this one. Already, copies of Leisure Suit Larry, Wet Dreams, Dry Twice are going well over the €50 mark. As you can see here, it got a $10 release price point from Media Mark. So going for 5 times over the price on eBay already would be a good sign that it's going to be one to pick up in the future.
I have to
But
check
not
it
just
out
that,
because
I
it's
think
like
these have a really cool art style. You play as a ex-porn director. You use the app Timber, like Tinder, and try and pick up girls. It's really like 80s cheesy, but it's kind of fun. That's the Leisure Suit Larry, Wet Dreams Don't Dry, and Wet Dreams Dry Twice.
I miss the price increase because it's like a €10 game or so around here. So if I can still find them, I'll probably grab them. And for the last one, I've saved again a strange one. I've seen people calling it a ghost because you can't find it. It's
Ooh.
Dracula's Legacy. This is a German exclusive. You can see by the cover that it has a really heavy phoenix like cover for how bad it is. And exactly like Phoenix games, this is a game that never just lives up to this cover. It's 90s point and click hidden object adventures, like you can find tons on PC or you can find ton on PS4 from Artifex Mundi, I think, only digital. It's not that bad. I've tried it, and it's not that bad. It's kind of fun. And the PS4 version is a German only release, incredibly hard to find. I wouldn't say more, maybe expensive, because if you find it, probably it's kind of cheap. It's bad, and people probably try to get rid of it. There's also a version on PS5 that has European release. In every country, it's like €15 game. This is probably 40 to 50, if not even more. Again, if you want the cheesy cover art, because on the PS5 they got rid of it and just put generic one, go for it because it's really, really, really hard to find.
Before we end up, Nicolo, what we like to do on this channel is show the stack of games, stack it up. This is Rasmus's special, so this is for you, Rasmus, the stack of games. So here we have rare and collectible PS4 games. This is episode number 13. It's been with Figsy and Nicolo. Thanks again for coming on the channel, Nicolo. It's been a
Thanks
real
for
pleasure.
having me again.
And you mentioned
It's
to
always a
me
pleasure.
prior that you've been considering starting your own YouTube channel, so I'm looking forward to seeing that in the future.
Yes, I do. I keep you posted.
As always, guys, thanks for watching. Nicolo will be coming back on the PlayStation Collectors podcast, I think March the 5th, I believe, with
Yes.
Jason, who was on a couple of weeks ago. If you haven't seen Nicolo or Jason's previous podcast episodes, definitely check those out. They're awesome. It should be really fun to get the two of you on together, talk about all things PS4 and in particular rare and collectible games. So if you like this
The
episode,
Weirdo
you're going to enjoy
Brothers.
that.
So yeah, only weird games, only strange release, weird games, and bad games. So
Basically. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.
I